everybody and welcome to a new video. Today I'm doing a really cool interview because I'm interviewing the Satan, and I've actually liked the Satan's music for a while now. I think the first time I saw him was at a Prospect hosting at Ground Zero a few years back. Really enjoyed that and his music since. So I'm really excited for this interview. I got this idea because I was doing the Zoom interviews because of the whole situation and I couldn't actually visit artists, but then I thought I can't always visit like international artists to do an interview, so this would be a really cool way to interview them anyway. So I got a Zoom call with the Satan in like 15 minutes and I'm really excited. I asked you to ask some questions as well, so we'll be talking a lot and I hope you enjoy this.
Let's check it again.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. You?
Good, yes, thank you. So I already know you. I've actually been to quite a few of your sets as well. I think the first time was Ground Zero Prospect hosting a few years back, 2-3 years back. So for the people who don't know you, can you like tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, of course. In real life, my name is Dennis.
Yeah.
So this is how I look without a mask. And yeah, today I'm just Dennis. And I'm from Russia. I still live in Russia. And I started to make electronic music in 2006. And actually, it was a long adventure before I started to play somewhere in Europe. Because my first European gig was in 2012. And since that time, it was also not that often as I play in Europe. But these days it happens more often. And before this Corona stuff, I was playing most every weekend here. So yeah, this was a long story from the beginning till who I am right now at the moment. But yeah, lots of things has been changed, and now I'm here giving you an interview.
Yeah, because it's almost 10 years then when you started making music.
Yeah.
How did you get started in it? Did you just really enjoy a certain genre, or how did
then I started, I was 16 years old, and I started actually not with hardcore, but with drum and bass music.
Yeah.
But at that moment, I already was really interested in hardcore, but I decided to start with drum and bass because at my place, I live in St. Petersburg. Drum and bass is a bit more, popular than hardcore.
Yeah.
But I was always interested in combination between these two genres. And even when I was making drum and bass music, I was trying to mix hardcore kick drums with drum and bass rhythm structure and these kind of things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it started more like a hobby, but then it gets more and more serious. And I also started I finished the university and I'm sound engineer. And after that, it helped me a little bit to understand the process better, what's going on with the sound. And I was always experimenting. And at the moment, I'm fully concentrated on hardcore music.
Yeah, because one of the questions I wanted to ask was where do you get your inspiration from now? Because there's a lot of influences from drum and bass and other genres in your hardcore music. Do you get inspiration from other music or things you watch or see?
Yeah, in general, I get an inspiration from everywhere. You know, the whole life is the big source of inspiration for me. And every moment, doesn't matter, is it positive or negative things going on in your life, it all brings you emotions, and you can use it also as a source of inspiration. So yeah, for me, I'm not that much narrow-minded person. No. I'm open-minded, and I like different genres of music, not only electronic music. So yeah, I think I can say that I get inspiration almost from everywhere. Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, because you have quite a new, unique selling point in the hardcore scene, because you're quite a unique act. What are your thoughts on the sounds in the hardcore scene right now?
Sometimes we have good and bad moments, everywhere. Sometimes something goes better, sometimes not. That's like we want. But in general, if we talk in general, I think that everything is fine with hardcore, to be honest.
Yeah.
But this is my point of view. And of course, we still have some positive and negative sides, but in general, we still have amount of artists and people who have their own signature sound, and they bring something new, something fresh. And this also gives me inspiration, you know. And if I have the opportunity to show my vision of hardcore, then I think everything is good in general.
Yeah, do you think it's important to have like that own sound or genre
Yeah.
for an artist?
Yeah. For me, definitely, this is very important. Yeah. And this is what I try to show with my own music. And yeah, I'm trying to keep my own wave to show that hardcore can be a little bit different. And this is how I see that. And I like when I hear that from other producers, from other people, that they also have something unique, you know.
Yeah. Are there like producers you haven't worked with yet that you really want to work with, producers like that?
Yes, I think I can say that it would be really interesting to make it collab with the outside agency.
Yeah, that sounds really
because
good.
I think we have lots of things in common, which and they point of view, how they see hardcore, and especially the combination hardcore drum and bass. I think it can be an interesting combination, and I think we will do that.
That's cool. I can't wait. So of course we have to ask a question because we can see your face now, and I think it's a few weeks back now that you did like
months. I don't remember.
Yeah, on Instagram, showing your face. Like, first of all, people wanted to know where the mask came from, and also why now you decided to like review yourself a little bit more.
Yeah, the main actually the idea to wear the mask. I don't have just one reason to do that. There are a few reasons, but maybe one which may be more interesting. Do you remember the movie The Mask with Jim Carrey, and an old movie?
That was really good.
Then I was a small kid.
Yeah,
I was a small kid. That was my favorite movie, and I think I saw that. I watched it maybe thousands of times when I was a small kid, and I was dreaming. Then one day I will find this mask and put it on, and I will become a superhero and will do things which normally I cannot do without a mask. So yeah, I cannot say that this is the only reason why I'm doing this in a mask these days in hardcore scene, but it also has its own influence in my head from my childhood. And actually, I still have this feeling. Then I put on my mask, I can do things behind the decks which I cannot normally do without a mask. So it's two different stories. So when the Satan comes, it's one part of me, but Dennis without a mask, it's a different story. And the long time, as you see how I was making stuff in social media, I was more or less closed with my personal life, and everything what I post was just only about the Satan, only about music and this kind of stuff, and nothing else, nothing about my private life. But not that long time ago, my life has been changed completely, and I found my one and only love. My girl was actually the reason why people can see a little bit more about Dennis and not just about the Satan, you know. Then I showed people my own face, and it allows me to show a little bit more about my private life, and it doesn't go against my old rule that I don't post anything besides the Satan music and this kind of stuff. So
so what were the reactions like when you like revealed your face?
The reactions of people, of course. I expected two waves, two lines of people. One say, we didn't expect that, but you look good, and others say, oh, it's better if you stay with a mask, like staying hidden, you know. It's always like that. But the thing which I wanted to say with this message is Dennis and the Satan, it's two different sides, and sometimes it's really quite the opposite, like black and white or positive, negative, or something like that. And Dennis also has his own life with normal daily stuff or something like that. And I'm just a human who can have feelings, girlfriend, and everything what anyone else can have.
I think people really like to see that, like the person behind, in your case, the mask, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So a lot of questions I got as well was like, where did the Satan come from? Is it just with your music or an inspiration, or what's the story behind it?
Yeah, normally I answer this question quite short. That if you know my tracks, you understand why, because it fits very well. My name, and this is how my music sounds like, you know. But there is also some more deep personal reasons why I decided to choose this name, because when I read some news in internet or whatever newspapers, and I see some news that one priest killed someone, or one priest make different crimes, and they always say, oh, it was just because we don't know why, we are so saint and we don't do crimes at all. And if they also advise other people that they have to live pure life, that having big money, it's a big sin, no one can do that, and blah blah. And I think, hey, you are the man who looked like a raper. I mean, some priest or something like that, especially in Russia. They are gold everywhere, and they say that people have to live poor life without anything happy in this life, because if they will sacrifice everything here, they will get the price on their afterlife or something like that. But at the same time, their gold is everywhere and they're super rich, and what the fuck?
Yeah,
I think they're real evil, not me. So if our world is so crazy that those people who supposed to be saints and always on the right way, telling these things and lying to people, and they believe them, then one day a guy with name the Satan has to come here and say, hey, you should think about that. What is really right and what is really wrong? Where is the real evil and where is the something different, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm for peace and love, actually.
Yeah.
Because those people who act like angels, actually they are real evil.
Yeah.
So this is my point of view.
I think that's also like in certain religions the way, right? Like they believe like Satan is actually the good guy in this scenario.
Yeah, you know, actually Satanism is not about religion at all.
No. It is, exactly. So that's actually a pretty interesting reason, I think. Yeah, that's really cool to hear about. I've got some fan questions if you want to go into those.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah? Okay. One was a really fun one. What is something regarding music, like what would you experiment more in if you got the chance?
I mean, different genres of music.
Genres, yeah. For example?
Yeah, really good question. Because, you know, I'm quite open-minded and I don't want to be limited by genres, subgenres or whatever. And if it sounds good, then it sounds good. When I listen to music, I don't care what kind of genre or style or whatever. If it sounds good, then it sounds good. And that's why probably for me, would be interesting to experiment, maybe not with the genres themselves, but to combine some elements from other kinds of music with hardcore.
Yeah. Do you have any examples?
Like I did that with drum and bass or metal music. When you make some guitar parts inside of hardcore tracks, I find it pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, if I think that for future I will keep this direction, and if I will have an idea from or inspiration from some other kind of music, I will use it, but not 100% in that style, but I will try to make it with hardcore. But of course it will stay hardcore. Just
exactly.
Like some little touch of something else.
Yeah, because you were just talking about where your name comes from, and also I've heard a lot about like drum and bass and an influence on you because it was big in Russia at that moment. Do you think you coming from Russia as like had a big influence on your music?
Because of Russia, I mean.
Yeah, because like maybe if you were from the Netherlands or whatever, it would have been
maybe different. It would be a little bit different, but actually the electronic scene in Russia in general is not that big.
No.
So it's not that really possible that it has some influence on me, because there is almost nothing. Not nothing, but not that much if compared with Holland, for example, you know.
Yeah, I think that's hard to compare to Holland.
And if we talk just about Russia, I think in hardcore scene, the only city is Moscow. In Moscow we have Masters of Hardcore, and some kind of local hardcore parties, and not that much, and it's nothing to compare. So it's Russia, and unfortunately we don't have that such a big electronic scene here in general. Not only hardcore, not drum bass, but electronic music in general, not that popular here. But
Is
maybe the situation will change in the future, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I'm actually interested in how the scene and everything will develop now. Because of this whole situation of barely no parties anywhere. To see if it's. Do you think it will change, like the way parties are given now, like after everything comes back?
In the world, you mean?
Yeah, like just
around the world.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know exactly. Of course,
Nobody
it's
knows.
really
No.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody knows. It's really hard to predict what will happen in future. But yeah, we hope. We all hope. And I hope, of course, that everything will come back. And yeah, I think that people are really missing the parties, all this stuff. And when it will come back, they will be 666 times more happy than before.
Yeah. It's going to be really good when it comes back. Do you have a certain festival, like in the future? Let's say everything is back. Is there a certain festival you really want to play at you haven't at?
The festival?
Or party?
The party. Yeah, I think of course, it's dominated in Masters of Hardcore.
Yeah.
I already played there, but I want these feelings back.
Yeah.
You know?
I get that, yeah.
I'm really waiting, yeah, for summer, and I hope that the Corona will end and yeah, we will have an opportunity to see everyone there and to be united again. Yeah.
It must be hard as well, like because you live far away from like where the parties are right now. Like we have some small things going on, but I suppose where you're at, there's nothing at all, or?
At the moment, no.
No. I got two really fun questions actually. First of all, what is your proudest moment so far? And the second is, what is your most embarrassing moment so far, like as the Satan?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the proudest moment, it's really hard to name just one.
You can name multiple if you want. Yeah,
I have a few, but you know, yeah, of course I was really proud when I released my first ever track on Masters of Hardcore. Yeah. It means a lot for me. It was a big step. And also when I signed the contract with Most Wanted agency, and yeah, when first time I got an invitation to play back-to-back with Angerfist.
That's really cool, yeah.
This was those moments. Yeah, actually more moments, but this is first what came to my mind to name. Yeah.
So is there anything you're like embarrassed of that happened maybe on stage or at a party or whatever?
So I think for every DJ, it's really stressful moment when suddenly something goes wrong, but not because it was your fault, but something wrong has happened with technical. Yeah. And with equipment or whatever. And you know, you mix your tracks, you keep an eye on a mixer and everything, you see the signal, but something goes wrong and suddenly the signal just interrupts. Oh, yeah. You hear your sound in your headphones, but the signal doesn't go to the dance floor. And you know that you do everything right, but people don't know that. They just hear that the music is stopped. Yeah. And they think that you did something wrong, and you know that from your side everything was fine, but something has happened with equipment or whatever. And yeah, it's really stressful, and you don't know what to do. You are just waiting, then the situation will be fixed. And sound engineer is trying to do something, but maybe it's just a few seconds, but for you it's like the whole life going on in your
really
head.
Long. Yeah,
it's really long and stressful. So yeah, this has happened with me, and I think this was the most stressful moment. I think for everyone it would be like that. Yeah.
So another question people wanted to know about, and me as well, is like, next to music, what are things you're into? Like maybe books, movies, what do you enjoy in general?
Yeah, as for books, you know, these days I don't read that many, how to say, imaginative literature, but more stuff about psychology or sound production, sound design. I mean, you don't read some stories. Yeah, but as for imaginative literature, I like, for example, George Orwell and his famous book,
1984?
1894.
Yeah, that was,
And, you know, because this really reminds me, unfortunately, this reminds me of the situation which is going on in Russia and in the whole world in general, but in Russia it's a little bit more dramatic these days. And yeah, this is not really cool thing, but this is how it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why I like this book, because it speaks the truth. And it's about different hobbies. Yeah, I like to watch movies. I like horror movies and comedy movies. And also in the past, I took lots of samples from horror movies with screams and all this.
Sorry, go on.
Hello, Kitty.
Oh.
Yes, and as for hobbies, yeah, I like sport. I go to gym every week, 2 times per week. Now this is my hobby, but in the past I also took part in powerlifting competitions, and then at that period of time it was more serious for me. Yeah, and I even was a winner a few times, won first, second, third place, but now it's a little bit different, and I changed my priorities because sometimes everyone needs to do that and to look at what is really important for life. And now it's just like my hobby, and I just do that because I like it. At the moment I just wait and make new music. Of course, now I have more time for creating new tracks. That's probably the only one positive thing.
So I've talked to some producers about this, and some do have really a lot of inspiration and others not at all. Is that hard for you to get inspiration right now, or not at all?
No, for me it's pretty fine. It more depends on my mood and what's going on in my personal life, you know. If everything goes fine, then I can make music every day, like 12 hours, and I have to eat. I forgot. I was all the time making music. Then but sometimes it also I don't have mood, or something bad has happened in my life, and I just trying to start and then realize that no, this is not that day when I can do something better. I wait and I will do much more.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I think I've got everything I wanted to talk about. So thank you so much for that. Everybody that's watching. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the interview. I had a really, really good time. So everybody's watching, follow the Satan. If you don't yet, follow me if you don't yet. And we'll see you real soon.
Bye-bye.